a magic sorcerer killing people with crystal fragments as their spammable? What is going on? In this one, I'm going to show you just that. Hey guys, it's Dan, and welcome back to Unified Gaming. So as I said, I'm going to go through my sorc build for the High Isle patch and beyond. This is incredibly fun and it's highly recommended to play. It does use Oaken Soul for those people curious, but there are ways to play this without it. I'm going to go through the skills, the sets, everything you need to know to make it, so do pay close attention. And as always, a massive thanks from everybody who supports on Patreon to help make these videos possible and get early access. And if you like what I do here, then do consider supporting myself there or just subscribing, it really helps. As always though, let's just get to it. What are we doing skill wise? Well, I'm an Imperial on this build, and this is because I use this on my tank as well. If you don't want to be an Imperial, a really good option is a Breton or a High Elf or a Dark Elf. Imperial is just what I had previously, but most races will work with this build. As with the attributes, 36 in magicka, 28 in health. I'm doing this to get about 30,000, 31,000 health and about 33,000 magicka. I have 2,100 regen before potions, so a good amount of sustain, and 3,700 damage with 8,200 pen, so okay damage. This is more designed to kind of be a bit more tankier with a bit more sustain, but it does require that high movement like Sorcerer still expects. Mundus wise, we are using the Atronach, and I have Oaken Soul as you can tell, and I'm a Vampire Stage 3. Being a Vampire Stage 3 is really important because you get access to Undeath. Undeath basically makes you tankier when you're low health. I do get asked why do I use this even though there's DKs everywhere. The simple reality is, yes, I take more fire damage, but when I'm below 50% health, this is actually more net resistance than the fire damage taken, so it ends up being a buff. And it works for all other damage types, so it's really worth getting. And that's why most people go for Undeath, Vampire Stage 3 in PvP. As with kind of the consumables and what we're doing there, I use tri-potions always. If you can get tri-potions, they're really great. It's health, magic and stamina. I would recommend getting ones that are actually the right level. That does really help. But yeah, tri-potions are kind of your go-to. If you don't have that, just using trash potions may help. You know, it's better to have something than nothing, but tri is the way to go. As with food, I use sugar skulls, health, magic and stamina. It's pretty much a staple in PvP, especially for my builds. And if you don't have sugar skulls, you can use just purple food like longfin pastry, crown food, you know, there's loads of options there. If you need more sustain for some reason, just use Witch Mothers, it will work, or the gold version, but I personally don't need it. As with kind of the skills, it's an Oaken Soul build, so there's only 5. We're using crystal fragments, and you're probably going, this is like, what on earth? The reason why we use this is when we cast this once, it can proc its special effect. So it says, while slotted, casting a health, magical or stamina ability has a 33% chance to cause your next crystal frags to be instant, dealing 60% more damage and costing 50% less. Whilst we cast this, which is 0.8 seconds, so you can cast this and get a light attack in the 1 second window, which means you can weave it absolutely fine. This can also double proc. You cast this once, you get the special proc and you can fire it straight away, which means they get hit with 2 frags instantly. It's like bang bang, really fast, really good damage. We use Haunting Curse to add on to the burst. We use the Twilight Matriarch for our burst deal, and it heals other people. We use Streak to get around and stun people, and we use Endless Fury to execute people. We use Power Overload to increase the range of it, and also to make sure that we've got kind of a bit more oomph on our light attacks if we need it, and it's also very cheap. So these are the skills. The big takeaway is Curse goes first. Whilst Curse is firing, you can then spam frags, and if frags procs a special frag, you then shoot the special frag, Endless Fury, then we blow up. You can do just Overload, so you have Overload on, Curse, frag, light attack, frag, light attack, frag, light attack, Endless Fury. You can mix up and do Curse, Endless Fury, frag, light attack, frag, light attack, frag, light attack, and so on and so on. So that's kind of how it works really. The Twilight is your burst deal, should things go south, and the Sorc can use Streak to get away. If you get stunned, just go Streak, roll, dodge, heal, and you'll be pretty much at full health or close enough to be able to escape and survive. If you have potion ready, Streak, potion, heal, you're good to go back in the fight. So that's kind of how that works. I also get asked, does it work in CP? The answer is yes. I'm on PCNA, so I have like no CP. and I've been using this in the CP event, like before it and also after. It's the mid-year, and I've been killing people fine. I'm using Master at Arms, Deadly Aim, and Ironclad. I would recommend having at least Ironclad or Duelist rebuff or some kind of defensive one to help you keep alive. For the red ones, we are using Celerity, Pain's Refuge, and as I get some more, I'd recommend going up to Bastion, and maybe I'll probably get Slippery, or I might get Unchained. Those are the kind of your options really. Slippery is really good. There's also one down here which expert evasion, which is also nice as well. For the green ones, it's just movement speed and then whatever you want. But that's the CP should you wish to use it in Cyrodiil. As with the sets though, what are we doing set wise? Well, we're using Oak-Saw as I said. I pair this with Willpower. I use a 2-piece, and I use Sharpened, Absorb Magicka. The Absorb Magic can be whatever you want, and I often do pair this with double dot poisons if I need a bit more sustained damage, so this can be a nice option as well. But the Absorb Magicka glyph is also useful too. If you can sustain without this, use double dots, it's more damage. I then pair this with Chokerthorn. Chokerthorn is when we use an ability that heals us, it procs, gives us a really good heal over time, brilliant in PvP, especially Battlegrounds. And you're probably thinking, well Dan, you only heal with Twilight. And that's where you're wrong. Spamming the Dark Magic Crystal Frags means we can get the Blood Magic, which will proc every half second, which means this is actually healing us as we do damage. Which means this, spamming Crystal Frags can proc Chokerthorn, so we can get this up really easily, pretty much on cooldown. I then use Crafty Elfic, and I use 2 pieces Trainee, and I use Oak-Saw as well. I've gone with all recovery because you do need to spam skills quite a bit on this, especially fragments, but if you land it right, it does work really well. But that's the sets. As for the traits, I usually go for Impen 3 well fitted, or 4 well fitted, 3 Impen, but 4-3 is kind of a good ratio to have. If you find that you find it hard against Nightblades, go all Impen, it really will help save you. And for the jewellery, if you can get all Arcane, that'd be great. I just rely on Transmute, so that's why. But yeah, that's pretty much it. If you don't have access to Oak-Saw for some reason, which is fair enough, you can swap this out and then use other sets on the back bar. Popular things are like Shroud of the Lich, Wretched Vitality for sustain, which lets you then build more spell damage on the glyphs, which is really nice. But yeah, that's what I use on the Sorcerer, so I'd like to know what you think. If you get any questions, let me know down below. And as always, a massive thank you to everyone on Patreon who helps make these videos possible. It really helps. And if you want to support myself and get early access to videos over there, then do consider donating as much or as little as you can. It really helps. But as always, I'm saying thanks for watching, take care, and bye!